Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Giacomo Bertoldi, Group CEO at Gruppo Bertoldi Holding. Giacomo, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. It's very good. Thank you.
Great to have you, Giacomo, and looking forward to this short conversation. By the way, this is the first conversation that I have with someone in a family office area. So let's dive into some questions. First thing first, Giacomo, give us an overview of a group of Bertoldi Holding and your journey with the group as a CEO.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sure. Our group was created back in 1959. Basically, all the things started in an area that my grandfather decided to work in. So it's mostly supermarkets when you buy food, basically. And this was a journey that brought us till 2014, where we decided to how can I say, divide the activities of a group. So me and my brother, we recreated a new holding company. We are at the third generation. So we decided to create a new company, which is Bertoldi Holding. It's the company mother of group, and we basically work in different areas. So we still our main investments are still inside the supermarket world. So we do large scale distribution in the food sector. Then we have real estate, which is one of the still most important things, also connected to the supermarkets activity. And after that, we decided from 2017 to start with activities connected to, I would say, venture capital. We don't do venture capital as you might know it. We try to be mostly a part of the activities of the companies we invest in. This is because we really want to invest in companies where we can help and where we can push the product, because one of our entities or one of our companies where we invested could be a good fit with a new partnership or something similar. Then we have another company which is called Wallians. Wallians is a company that was born in 2016. It's an investment company, and I would say it's the so-called real estate investment platform. So it's a company that it's active in Italy, France, and Spain. And this was created by our group directly, and we invested a lot of money in this project, and we brought on board investors that are part of our, journey and the other venture we did. Wallians is for sure one of the companies that is, absorbing a lot of time inside the group, but it's quite a huge company today. So it's not just a real estate investment platform for third parties or retail investors that want to invest in, but it's also an investment company. So the activities of the group, as you can understand, are divided in a lot of things. Most of them are connected because of real estate, and are also connected because of retail. So clients, I would say, retail clients for supermarkets basically are the same that want in a different another maybe invest in projects on the real estate investment platform. But so we have this kind of structure, and we still invest in over companies as a venture, as a family venture, as we like to say. And we do it, of course, every year. We define 2, 3 important investments, and we go for it. Yeah.
Nice. Now, Giacomo, what type of real estate is it? Is it commercial real estate or is it like a mix of between commercial and?
Well, yeah, well, in 2016, when we decided to start Wallians, we knew we had as a background the commercial real estate activities. Our group originally started to open commercial real estate because of supermarkets, but especially in our region, we had to not just create the commercial, but on top of it, as it's known in Europe, you build a building for residential. Okay, so you have a commercial, and then up on it you have the residential. With Wallians, we knew that especially retail investors are pretty interested in the residential one, especially where we come from, Italy, because 80% of people in Italy own a house of their own. So they know they have the unit. It's not rented. It's owned. It's one of the highest numbers we see before France in Europe. So people here really love real estate, really love residential, and so we started with that. Actually, today, Allianz also provides investments, I would say, in co-living for students. Could be offices. We're doing something in Paris, but also we financed one retail park and also in Williamsburg in Brooklyn on top of a residential building versus a big commercial one. So it's you can diversify. It's a diversified portfolio anyway.
Yeah. Giacomo, I love stories like you're a third generation of a family office and continue to bring that innovation to the next stage. Can you highlight any recent innovations or upcoming technological developments that the group is particularly excited about in the future?
Well, we really try hard to change the way we make investments.
Hmm.
As I said, we call ourselves, our company, we think it's a family venture capital. It's a family office, but we put together the family office and the venture capital words, and it came out family venture because we really want to change the way contracts are made. And we experienced in the past also with investments that we made with banks. So there were banks or institutional investors investing in some ventures, and at the end we discover that most of the times that a startup fails, it's because of a contract. So founders usually don't have enough, words, or they don't have enough power, to pursue the activities. So what we want to do is to try to be on the side of the founders. Of course, we really need to understand if it's the case or not. But basically, when we select the investments, we really try to stay on the side, of the founder. But what a lot of people talk about that nowadays. There are certain areas that for us today are pretty interesting. As we are speaking, we have been focused on for sure real estate. We are we are a lot of interested in the area of fintech. We made investments, as you can see on the website, on a lot of other prop tech companies, but we are really trying to change the area of the travels, especially for young people. And this is one of the area with travels, food management, restaurants, hospitality. This is an area that could be same in a luxury, but also for very young people. So maybe you need to stay with a lower cost of travel. We are trying, to change a few things, and this is one of the area that to us today it's one of the most interesting. And we are, trying to help a couple of companies in Europe to change the way people are booking their travels, etc. I cannot say that much now, but yeah, this is one of the areas for sure we're trying to change. And when you are on the third generation, usually uh, on the outside you are seen, maybe as someone that is not so experienced. But I maybe sometimes this is true, but also sometimes I believe that we really need to help older senior people that are or senior managers to look at the way today the market works and how new ideas are created. Create an idea today and develop this idea is totally different because opportunities you have on the market are not the same you had like in 1950. So what my grandfather did in 1950, you cannot do it today. Maybe you can, but it's like 1 out of 100
Yeah.
probably. So it's totally different, and we need to look at the projects in a different way. So that's why we really try as a company to stay on the side of the founder and to help them bringing, the product alive. And we like to do that, So we are more involved, but we still leave a full word and liberties to the founders, so they really can, try to do their best.
Yeah. In other words, making that positive impact from a leadership and bring that
We
to the
try.
organization. That's great. Love that. Now, Giacomo, what values and culture do you promote within your group? Obviously, your group, it's big enough handling all of these projects going on at the same time simultaneously. So what values of culture do you promote within the group to ensure you got productive and a positive work environment in your place?
Well, one of the most important thing to us is giving the chance to everybody, to everyone inside our team, but also outside to try to do their best, as I was just saying a couple of seconds ago. It's very important to us because there is no, of course, you might have the correct answers to a lot of questions when you start a job or when you have to do something inside a company, when you have to bring a positive impact. We really say to all of our people that they really need to try, try, and try. And the most important thing that I want to say is that it's very important to ask for help. So we really never have to, get worried and ask for somebody's help when we have to, go for our journey. We really need to, be comfortable because it's not a bad thing. And I experienced that, 99% of times when you ask for help, you find it. Maybe not very soon, but if you continue to do that, someone will help you.
Yeah.
So easier. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Now, you mentioned about trying new things. Obviously, there's a failure attached to it, right? So, what is your approach to failure when you try new things and when you're a leader in in a company you invest to try new things? How do you encourage that risk taking while maintaining that growth and sustainable business?
Well, I will say something that it's not so. Every time I open LinkedIn and people say, well, you have to accept fail, you have to fail twice, you have to fail 100 times, and it's part of a journey. I hate to fail, so I really need to say it loud. I really hate it, and I really believe that it's part of a journey. But at the same time, I start to see some people, especially young people, um, accepting the failure because there's this movement of people saying that it's fine, it's totally fine, which is, but this brings, especially to young people, an exit strategy. So
Mm,
you can still fail, so you don't need to get worried about that. Probably I come from, a company culture and a family culture that says that you have to try until you can do it. Of course, we failed in some things. We tried, better projects. We tried a lot of things that maybe didn't work properly, but you really need to put all your efforts to try for something. So I hate when I fail, and I try. I'm not saying to cover it with some, positive activities, but I try to change not the story, but I try to change what happens in the project. What
yeah,
happens? I try to make it work in a different way. Maybe I'm not, developing 100% of what I had in mind. Maybe I don't know 30%, but at least I do a part of it.
yeah.
So failure has a positive impact in your journey. I mean, we have to accept it, but at the same time, we don't have to, to accept it as an exit strategy.
Yeah, I'm with you on this 100%, Giacomo. This the BS that the media sells it like it's okay to fail and accepting the failure. In America we say burn the boats, right? So when you are starting something or you're into something and you're starting to have a plan B, your plan A becomes a plan B and the other way around. And so literally you're always looking for the option. So I always say just have a one plan and that's it and stick with it all the way to the end. Try everything you can to make it happen and to manifest into something that what you begin the journey, right?
Yeah, let me say one other thing, that I am a very ambitious person. So most of the time, failures comes because of this.
Mm.
So when you said you have to stick with a plan, I mean, I think it's a very nice thing to say, because sometimes because of our ambition, we really try, to put something more on top of it. We want to be champions of a championship, and we want to have more and more and more. And sometimes I don't say that you don't have to be, someone that likes to have more. I'm not talking about money, but I'm talking about opportunities, to travel more, to have a better job, to have a new position, to have a higher salary. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are a lot of opportunities out there. And sometimes, maybe it takes a little bit more to gain, something more. So we don't have to change our plan because we want to grow very fast. I really believe that everything needs to be more organic and needs to be pushed when it's something really ready, and when you're ready, maybe for another job position or anything else in your life. So ambition doesn't have to, to bring you to failure because you are too much ambitious.
Yeah, yeah. Over ambition brings that brings always to the startups, especially you can see it in over ambition. Now, Giacomo, how important is for you when you look at the company in terms of the team itself, especially in an early stage?
Well, here I can bring you maybe, I can still bring you my story. When we started Wallians, I involved a couple of people very close to me. We had, of course, because of the group, money to invest in the project, but the most important thing was, involve people that had knowledge of what we were going to do. So it's really important. This is my suggestion, to find the right founder and co-founder, and at the very beginning of a project, because 99% of the time, otherwise you will feel alone in the project, and if you are alone, it's tougher a lot, to get to the end of the project. So if you can share with more than one, maybe three people at least inside the team at the very beginning, you can really share responsibilities, and you can share troubles, and you can share opportunities, and you can share, when you win. So it's much better, but especially, in bad times, which everybody will face one day or another, you have the right people, to face those activities. It's very important to divide very well the organization, so who does what. But from my point of view, which is not exactly what happened in my case, you need to have a co-founder, at least one, because otherwise you will miss someone very important in the project, that will, stay with you, pray with you, try hard with you, and it's very important. This is the Of course, you need to have people on board on top of the co-founder, if you're scaling up with your project, but it's, I would say, kind of secondary, because an employee maybe it's not so interested in pushing your same ambition, but a co-founder it should be.
Yeah.
So you need to have on your side someone that it's facing the same problems as you're facing. So it would be two people pushing for the same activity.
Yeah, it's like kind of like how God ordained marriages, right? Like, you marry your partner, you don't just marry to make kids, but you also marry
Yeah.
because it's a whole thing.
But it's because sometimes nowadays people are thinking, well, I'm so ambitious that I want to own my project, my company, and they are just thinking I can do it, myself. I will have employees, so I will just do it in this way. But every time I see it, that it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always the case. I hardly to find someone who's done it alone and be a greatly successful. There are a few exceptions out there who went all solo by themselves and run the teams, but that's an exception. Now, Giacomo, what does the word bold mean to you?
What do you mean, Italian? Do you want me to? Well, I really think that everything we do nowadays needs to bring courage in everything we do. So bold for me, it's something. It's first of all a word that you use when um, maybe when you want to say something good about a person. Okay, you're bold, so this is for sure something. You mean a very initial connection I give to this word. Then the other point is that probably being bold and bold to me means also caring about something because if you have a little bit of courage, then you really you're kind of a hero nowadays, because as I was saying before, a lot of people, when we were speaking about, failure, a lot of people keep to, get the exit strategy because, media says you can fail, etc., etc. So when you're bold, it means that maybe you are one of those guys that didn't think about the fact that there is an exit strategy. I'm not saying, an exit strategy where you get a lot of money out of it, but that you can still fail.
Mm.
So this is what brings up to my mind when I think about, being bold, and mostly it's courage. And I could say that some people maybe are, in their maybe little way, some heroes, because even it doesn't matter what happened in the end, but they, pursue a project. Maybe, I really love the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. So maybe it's, when you pursue your project and you're bold, it could be something kind of trying to pursue your happiness.
Yeah. And with that, Giacomo, thank you for joining me in this Bold Talks
Thank you.
series. I truly enjoyed this. Hopefully, we get a chance to do another one, maybe like a longer format in the future. Until next time, take care, be great, God bless, and be bold always.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Edu.
Thank you, Giacomo.